The last two videos, I taught you the rules. Price the pot, count your outs, make the mathematically correct call, and if you do that, you'll stop losing money. But here's the secret nobody tells beginners. Following the rules perfectly only makes you hard to beat, doesn't make you a winner. The real money, the stuff that turns a break-even player into a crusher, comes from knowing when to break those rules. And the answer to when is simpler than you think. You break them against people who don't follow them either. By the end of this video, you'll spot the 3 most common bad players at any table, and you'll know exactly how to punish each of them. Let me clear up the biggest misunderstanding in poker. There are actually 2 different ways to play correctly. The first is unexploitable, balanced, by the book play. No matter what your opponent does, they can't take advantage of you. It's the baseline you've been learning. It's safe and it's solid, but it's not the most profitable. Because unexploitable play assumes your opponent is also playing perfectly. And at your local game, they are absolutely not. The second way is maximally profitable, where you look at the specific person across from you, find their mistake, and adjust to squeeze every dollar out of it. That's called exploitive play, and that's what today is about. Against the perfect player, you stick to the baseline. Against the flawed one, you deviate on purpose. So step 1 is finding the flaw. Here's the skill that comes before every exploit: paying attention. Most players stare at their own cards and zone out when they're not in the hand. Winners do the opposite. When you're not involved, you watch. You're building a file on everyone at the table. You're asking 3 simple questions. Do they call too much? Do they fold too much? Do they bet and raise too much? That's it. Almost every bad player has one of those 3 leaks turned up way too high. Find which one, and you found the key to their pocket. Let's meet them. The most common player at low stakes, the calling station. This is the person who calls and calls and calls. They can't let go of a hand. Top pair, they're calling to the river. Bottom pair, still calling. A draw that missed, somehow still calling. Now your instinct might be to bluff them, to push them off the pot. Do not. That's the trap. You cannot bluff someone that never folds. Throwing bluffs at a calling station is like trying to scare a brick wall. So you do the opposite. When you have a genuinely good hand, you bet. And you bet big, because they'll pay you off with the hands they should be folding. You stop bluffing entirely, and you value bet relentlessly. They want to hand you their money, so let them. The opposite animal, the nit, also called a rock. This player only plays premium hands. They fold and fold and fold, waiting for aces. And when they do finally put money in, they've got the goods. 2 ways to exploit this, and they're both beautiful. First, steal from them constantly. Because they fold so much, you can bet at them with almost anything, and they'll give up the pot. Their blinds are basically free money, so take them. Second, and this one's the one that saves you money. When a nit finally raises you, believe him. A nit doesn't bluff. If they suddenly wake up with aggression, they're not messing around. That marginal hand you'd normally call with against a nit, it's an easy fold. Player 3, the Maniac, the wild one. The Maniac bets and raises constantly, with anything trying to run everyone over. They're chaos, and chaos feels scary, but it's actually a gift if you stay calm. Here's the mistake people make. They try to out-aggress the Maniac, bluffing back at them. Don't. Why bluff someone who's already doing the bluffing for you? Instead, you tighten up. You wait for a strong hand, and then you just let them keep betting into you. Call down, trap, give them all the rope they want, and let them hang themselves. Against the Maniac, patience is your exploit. Now step back, because you might have noticed a pattern across all 3. Every exploit is just do the opposite of their mistake. They call too much, you stop bluffing and bet for value. They fold too much, you bluff and steal more. They bet too much, you get passive and let them. That's the entire engine of exploitative poker in one sentence. You don't need a chart. You watch what they overdo, and you punish it by doing the reverse. Find the leak and pour water into it. Now, the one honest warning, because this is where people get themselves in trouble. The moment you deviate from balanced play to exploit someone, you become exploitable yourself. If you stop bluffing against the station and only bet when you're strong, a smart player watching will notice and start folding every time you bet. If you steal too much from the nit, a paying attention opponent will start playing back at you. So here's the rule of thumb. Against bad players who aren't watching, and that's most of low stakes poker, exploit freely. They won't adjust, so keep printing. But against good thinking players, snap back to the baseline. Play solid, balanced, unexploitable poker, and wait for them to make the first mistake. Read the room. The bigger their leak and the less they're paying attention, the harder you push. So here's the whole picture, and it ties everything together. The math from the last 2 videos, pot odds, counting outs, that's your home base. It's what you fall back on when you have no information, or when you're up against someone good. Then you read the player. Call too much, fold too much, or bet too much. Then you exploit. You step away from the baseline in the exact direction that punishes their leak, and you take their money. Baseline when you're unsure, exploit when you're sure. That's it. So let's recap. 1. Following the rules makes you hard to beat, not rich. The profit is in breaking them correctly. 2. Find the leak. Do they call too much, fold too much, or bet too much? 3. Do the opposite. Station, value bet, don't bluff. Nit, steal and fold their raises. Maniac, trap and call. 4. Don't get exploited back. Deviate against bad players. Return to the baseline against good ones. The math keeps you safe. Reading people makes you dangerous. Now you can do both. That's how you break the rules. And I'll see you guys in the next one.